when I tell you to fire.
I'm sorry.
Do not be sorry. Be better.
God of War is an epic journey deep into the lands of the Norse gods. In many ways, it's the perfect blend of action and adventure, as father and son Kratos and Atreus set off to fulfill someone's final wishes and scatter their ashes from the highest peaks of the mountains. It sounds a simple task, but this journey will lead them onto new characters that need help, onto battle against an ungodly number of beasts, and of course, onto fight the gods themselves. They've got a lot to learn along the way about their own lives and about each other's. Here's my thoughts on God of War. Number 1. Combat. As always with God of War, the combat is bloody and violent. There's this weight behind every single hit, so you can feel the enemy's bones breaking. On the surface, it's a pretty simple system. You've got two types of attacks, light and heavy, and very few combos to learn. Instead, it's all about timing, about dodging, blocking, knowing when to dish out those heavy attacks to interrupt the enemy strikes. Does it get repetitive? Maybe, especially when you start to learn your own methods that seem to work for you, and so you can stick to them. But even then, when things are as cinematic as this, you're happy to do the same things over and over again, as you always get that same satisfaction. Attacking with your axe, throwing it, doing some punching, calling your axe back. Getting to throw your weapon like this adds some range to your fighting, and it shows that Kratos is so skilled, or perhaps so angry, that he's happy to throw his weapon away and still go on and fight. This axe throwing makes up a lot of the puzzles. You use it to rotate things or to pin things in place. It's pretty amazing how many puzzles they can squeeze out of just these two mechanics alone. Punching in bare hand-to-hand combat has its own merits. It doesn't do as much damage, but it does increase the rate that enemies get stunned, which allows you to pull off powerful, gory executions. Of course, there's also the big set-piece fights, which have incredible scale and epicness to them. In fact, it would be nice if the game had a few more of these moments, and even more Norse gods to kill. Number 2. Father and Son. Essentially, this is a story about a bond between Kratos and Atreus. It begins with the son learning lessons from the father, but pretty soon Kratos realizes that he's got just as much to learn from his son, as he begins to battle with his own demons of the past. Whenever Kratos' old life is brought up, it's treated appropriately dark and ominous. He starts to learn that kindness does not equal weakness. The pair make a great contrast, as they explore and meet new characters and spirits that need their help. Atreus is more than happy to lend everyone a hand. He'd fit in perfectly in an RPG, accepting anyone's requests. Kratos, on the other hand, is more focused on the mission. He's not distracted. Others should not be trusted or not even given a second thought. Maybe he'll help if he sees some reward in it that will help with the main journey, but that's about it.
Look, should we try talking to them?
No,
But maybe they need help.
they do not stop us, so they do not concern us.
But
They
maybe...
do not concern us.
The few times that Atreus is away, Kratos falls silent and becomes uninteresting. It really shows how they work best as a team, with a grumpy old dad, an optimistic but naive child, and the amusing dialogue that goes on between them. Atreus can help in combat too. His dedicated square button launches arrows at whoever you're looking at. These arrows can also be used in puzzles, with different types having a different effect on the environment and on enemies. As the game goes on, his confidence in his ability increases. Thankfully, you never have to worry about him getting killed. He doesn't have a health bar and can always handle himself, leaving you to concentrate on what you're doing.
What is this?
Number 3. XP and leveling up. As Kratos kills, he earns XP, levels up, and learns new moves. This begins exciting as you get new techniques to master, but pretty quickly you may lose interest in the skill tree, as a lot of it is not that interesting, and it is easy to unlock everything long before the story is over. You can also buy or find new modifications and new talismans to boost up your stats, but again, it is easy to lose interest in these due to the sheer number of them available. You may end up solving puzzles for the fun of solving the puzzles, rather than the rewards that they may provide. A new piece of armour is a little more appealing to get, as this often provides the biggest difference to your stats, as well as giving you a new version of Kratos to look at. Armour, as well as weapons, can be upgraded.
Okay, now shush! I need complete silence for this. There you go.
You get to pick 2 rune attacks, which are powerful techniques that act as your personal special moves, really making you feel like your Kratos is unique from everyone else's. And these moves are far more interesting than anything the skill tree has to offer, and are particularly useful in the toughest of situations. Enemies too come with their own levels. Some may at first seem overwhelmingly strong, and so it's best to do some leveling up. But none of them are ever impossible. If you can master dodging and blocking, then you can beat anything, regardless of their level, just so long as you don't make a mistake. You feel a much greater sense of achievement after winning a fight through strategy and skill, rather than just by being a higher level. God of War's story unfolds as much in its side quests as it does in the main story, as you're constantly learning more about this relationship between 2 characters going on a journey together. You can spend days going off the beaten track, exploring the game's different realms, fighting the powerful Valkyrie, or freeing tied down dragons. It's a world full of new and unexpected things to see and do, with every area providing its own stories of kings and giants. Environments change around you as water levels affect the landscape, revealing new coves, new beaches, and new caverns to search. Old areas later become accessible as you learn new abilities, and combine all of this with the fierce, exciting combat, and you get one of the best games that I've played in a long, long time. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thanks for watching.